Hello everyone, this is Dan with Arcade Funcade. Today we're going to show you guys an upgraded, updated version of the Centipede cabinet. What we ended up doing is we created a megacade Centipede themed machine. And what this machine has, it has every option. What does this machine have? It has every option. That's what it has. It has every single option we could possibly offer here at Arcade Funcade. So what we ended up doing is that we're going to start from the top down. We have a pixelated marquee. It's an interactive marquee that interacts with the game itself. So as the games are being scrolled through, you can actually see different you see the consoles and different change-ups and different things that are happening on the screen. So as you're navigating through the games and your consoles, you're going to be able to see different artwork pop up according to what game you're going to be watching or playing. And so that's one of the biggest highlights of the day. We wanted to show off that Pixelcade. It actually comes out of a company called Pixelcade. Out of California, a gentleman named Al made it for us, and it's a full-blown, fully custom Pixelcade monitor. It's actually two panels that stick together, and he's been working on this thing for the past 2-3 years, and has been hand designing all the artwork for the majority of the games that are on this machine. So there's a ton of graphics, ton of stuff going on. It's just amazing. It's blowing our mind trying to figure out. We're just still trying to wrap our head around how amazing this thing is. There's a lot of different screens out there. There's hyper screens, there's hyper marquees, but this guy, one of the first of its kind, is actually called a Pixelcade. We like the idea of this fella because of the fact that it looks more retro. It has actual LED little dots on there, stuff that you would see back in the day, little pixelated little lines and stuff behind a blacked out marquee. So that's really sick. You can't see any of it until it lights up. So it's really awesome. You can actually see right there. You can't see through it. So with this machine, this is one of the coolest machines we've actually came across. Again, same idea. We've actually built this thing from the ground up. We have a custom PC inside. This machine has 55,000 games included. It has a full-blown gaming arcade PC, which is so crazy because of the idea that the games it can actually handle. It can handle all the console games. It can handle all the arcade coin-operated games, but it can also handle another thing that's completely separate. That these two worlds usually collide and that they don't really come together. And it's going to be the PC and console world nowadays. You know how that works. So with this guy, you can actually go in and out of games. You can play all the different console games. We're going to jump into this guy. I'm going to show you some of the artwork and some of the games that it actually features. So I want to show you guys some of the stuff that comes up, how the graphics actually work, and there's just so much stuff in here. It's freaking nuts. And I love the idea that there's just the artwork is so colorful. It's just brilliant, and I love the idea of it. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys a couple things like Street Fighter. There's some Super Mario Brothers games and a bunch of stuff in there. I want to just show you guys how it looks. We got Sonic up there, so that's pretty rad. Jump on Sonic and show Sonic. There's another bunch of stuff. There you go. There's a bunch of games on here. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys a little bit of everything. And we're gonna make this into like a 2 or 3 part video, so we can really give you guys an in-depth look at what is inside this machine. The exterior of it, we're gonna go over everything. This is just more of an introduction to the machine. Here it is. And the whole idea is that we're gonna go over buttons, joysticks, trackballs, spinner knobs, guns. That's another thing too. It has guns. So there's so much stuff going on. It's coin operated. And again, this is a machine that the whole overall design and build up of this machine was designed so it can go into a home. So certain homes actually have doorways that are only 32 inches wide. So this guy is actually just shy of an inch narrower than your average door going into the house. So it can make it and go in sideways on a dolly. And that's one of the primary reasons why it's even built that height it is. And the width it is, so we went with a 32-inch screen, so obviously we couldn't walk through the door unless you have a 36-inch door. You could always go through that. But that's primarily one of the issues that most residential customers have issues with, is with how do I get in the door or down a staircase or whatever, you know. And what's neat about this, guys, being that it does have an LED screen, you have the ability to go down a staircase and not have to really break your back too bad, because of the fact that it doesn't weigh 500 pounds. Like the original machines, they weighed about 350 to 400 pounds. Average weight on this guy is about 170 to 220 pounds, so that's pretty neat. It's built out of 3/4 inch MDF board, and it's trimmed out with this lime green, amazing 3/4 inch trim, and it has matching color buttons and all that good stuff. But yeah, the overall build of this guy, the style of this guy, and the idea of what it has inside is it's built with strength in mind. We didn't want your cabinets to be flexing and all that good stuff. We also didn't want the overall weight to be too heavy or top heavy. We have experienced some machines back from the 80s and a couple 90s machines that were really front heavy. Didn't want to mention any names, but we have some of the Neo Geos that are a little heavier up top, and I love the machines. But it's one of those deals I feel like they're going to fall on you. But this guy actually has a lot of base weight, which is nice, and it's really, really strong. And the design overall is just freaking amazing. You have the screen not all up in your face, but it has more of a vertical screen than anything else. It's obviously a horizontal screen, but it has a more of a vertical screen where it's up a little bit more in your face rather than laying back where you get a glare from the lights behind you. So as you can see here, there's lights in front of me here, and you really can't see any glare on this guy because it's standing so far up. And it's actually amazing. The control panel is wide enough and big enough. We've also had experiences with that in our past. We've had some pretty big customers, and we've had to actually measure their hands. How cool is that? We get to measure people's hands, the width of their elbow, from elbow to elbow, the width of their hands, size of their hands, and we kind of like space out the joysticks and buttons according to the size of the body style of our customers. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of like getting measured up for a suit. So that's kind of what we're doing here at Arcade Funkade. How crazy is that? So with this guy, it has so many features. It has these joysticks from Ultimark, and so there are a couple joysticks that are out there that are really neat. Now, again, we don't want to talk bad about anybody's parts or anything, but our parts here that we've been using, Ultimark's parts, are some of the best parts that we've been using on our machines. They have a special feature underneath them that allows you to go from 4-way to 8-way. I've seen a lot of control panels that are kind of like just cluttered with all kinds of different joysticks and different ideas that go from 4-way to 8-way, and we kind of feel that it's just too much. Sometimes they get in your way when you're trying to play, or they just look awkward, or just misplaced. You're just hitting yourself on the wrist with one joystick while trying to use the other. So it kind of throws you off. Now with this joystick, whole different deal. It kind of eliminated all those issues. And this guy itself is a 4-way, 8-way joystick. How do you switch it? What you do is you grab the actual joystick, but there's 2 ways of doing this. You can either there's 2 different style joysticks. The one we used on this particular machine, we like the idea of it to be a little, obviously you want it to last and be as heavy duty as possible. So we picked the better one of the 2. There's a mechanical spring-loaded joystick for these guys that you simply pull up and turn, and it catches, and you just turn right or you turn left to go from 4-way to 8-way. We personally have tried those and absolutely love those guys. But if you're going to be using it very often and be switching back and forth for like Pac-Man games, Galaga, Donkey Kong games, those are all like 4-way joysticks. And if you're going to be jumping back and forth and playing like Mortal Kombat games, Street Fighter games, NBA Jam, all these big games, big title games that you want to be playing, you're going to be wanting to utilize the 8-way joystick. So if you're jumping in between games pretty often, that little arm that comes down and catches the inside mechanism kind of slows down and kind of wears out over the course of maybe even a couple of weeks at times. And there's these little flare arms that kind of bend out, and it just doesn't. You have to go in there and adjust the thing. Now this guy, it does kind of. It is a little bit harder, I guess, to mess with, but you got to go underneath it, and there's a little switch, and all you do is just flick it left and right, and it's that easy. If you mess it up, you pretty much can mess it up. That's the beauty of it. So you pretty much open the coin door, reach up, click it over, and you're at 4-way. You click it back, you're at 8-way, and you can easily feel the feeling of what the 8-way and 4-way little controllers are. So that's really neat. What we wanted to show you guys is obviously we got to show you guys a little bit of Centipede here. That's kind of what we're here for in a way. But at least to show you guys what we can do and how this machine has been doing its thing. There's tons of games, and again, there's so many things going on in this guy. And a couple of the options, I'm trying to get to Centipede here. A couple of the options that I've been noticing is that when you jump into a game, it shows that. It actually shows that it's going to be playing Centipede. It shows you the actual marquee. So it's really neat. So during gameplay, it shows you the marquee. It also shows you different things. It has a random marquee that goes around to kind of break things up and just break it up a little bit. So this is a really cool idea rendition of Centipede. It's an upgraded version, like I said. It's a 32-inch screen. It's obviously a vertical screen, but what's neat about this, guys, is that it blacks out the screen from wall to wall, and you don't have a different shade of black from the game to the outer edge of the bezel. This machine itself, it goes full across, blacked out, beautiful blacks. It's actually it's a Samsung screen. It's a smart TV. And another reason why we did that, now that I'm touching up on that, the reason why we use a Samsung smart TV is because they're a lot easier to repair. If anything ever happens to them, you can pretty much pick them up anywhere. If anybody breaks them, smashes them, something happens to them, they're just a lot easier to find than your commercial grade 32-inch screens. Parts are always readily available, and we have machines or these monitors on hand at all times, just in case there are any mishaps. Somebody knocks a machine over on accident. You have some of those drunken nights, you never know. Things happen in the game room, and these things kind of fall over, or somebody throws a beer can at it. I mean, I'm just speaking from experience. People have been doing the craziest things. So here we are. So yeah, so Centipede, one of the crazy things. So what we have is coins. We have a coin button. We have a coin button, a start button, and a player one start button. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of this guy. So you actually have the trackball, so you can play with a trackball, and you can have a trackball, and you can shoot with this guy, and you can also shoot with your spinner knob, and you control all this stuff with your controllers, trackball, spinner knob, and you can even use a keyboard. Some guys prefer a keyboard. It's all them. I'm going to jump back out of here really quick, and so once you jump out, it still says Centipede up there for a bit until you move the joystick again, and then it goes to a different game. So there's so many different options, so many different things that you go on here. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the gameplay oh, I gotta show you guys this thing. I'm gonna jump back out of the main wheel, right? The main wheel. And we're gonna go down to a different segment of this thing. It's gonna be a different file. Now I wanted to show you guys a couple other little things that are in here. There's files that are dedicated to specific systems. So if you're looking to get racing games, you're looking for a racing game, you go to the file that has all the racing games already included. So you're not looking through all these ginormous list of games, looking for a specific game. You can always, as you're looking through them, you could always discover new games. You just never know. So you have the racing games, you have the shotgun games, you have the trackball games, you have golf games, and you have Dance Dance Revolution games. And there's just so many things in there. There's also the Pinball FX. We're going to jump into this guy and show you how this guy works. So as you jump in, Pinball FX, it shows up top of the marquee, and that's pretty awesome. So this guy, as it goes in, then it obviously shows you a big old list of all the games that are available through Pinball FX. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose just a random game. I don't know what we're going to get. It's not going to be that random because I'm actually still looking for it. We're probably going to do either a Star Wars, Darth Vader, or something. Oh, we'll do a Tesla. There you go. Oh, wait. Walking Dead. Everyone likes Walking Dead. Well, I think they do. So either way, this is a really cool system. It's completely interactive. Again, the screen. I can't get over that thing. It's so freaking awesome. This guy, the Walking Dead system, it's ready to go. You can see it just load up there. And with this guy, it has this machine has been designed again with so many options, so many ideas, that one of the main options and ideas in this machine itself is you have your outside buttons. You can't really see them. We'll be doing a secondary thing to show you all the options, the little gimbal, little camera thing. But we want to show you guys there's some buttons on the outsides of these guys. And what we did is we hid away a plunger down below. And we'll be, again, showing you guys that in a little bit. And so this guy, to start a game out, you pretty much hit your plunger down below, and it's pressure sensitive. So it's a special button down there. It's also LED'd out. So when you press the button, you'll see there's a little X that pops out, and you can actually use the flippers to play the game. So that's really nice. So it's a very interactive system. The monitor is really interactive as well. And what we have going on is that we have a lot of different details and ideas inside this guy that is just, it just blows our mind with the whole 3D effect, 3D different standard and different styles of what's going on. So the pinball machine games are just unreal. And to jump out of this thing, I'm not even going to jump out. I'm going to show you guys what's going on with this guy. There's so many different camera angles and camera views. So there's a button on here that says Atari on the side, and you press that guy, and you can see there on the screen. All you can see there that there's that you have different camera views on the actual game itself. So this is all stuff we're going to be going over later, just to show you what it is doing. So it's really neat. I'm going to jump out of this guy and show you another thing that this fellow does. We're going to go back out of the the Pinball FX stuff, and we're going to go back to what I was telling you. Oh, here's this is the cool part. This is where really blew us away. Being that we're console guys, arcade guys, and PC guys, it kind of, again, it's a dream come true, and it's a whole idea, everything all wrapped into one big package. We wanted to show you guys the crazy, awesome design idea of the marquee itself and how it interacts with every console. So if you stop even on the console itself, it shows you what's going on in this guy. So this guy has a Super Famicom up top, then you go to the Nintendo, so you have that guy, and you also have the family computer, I'm sorry. You have all these different game consoles. You have even the saddle view. And again, sometimes when you don't have a specific system that's been designed into the machine, because again, our Pixel Arcade guys are actually working on their own time, doing their own thing, just figuring out all the arcade systems and ideas. So what they're doing is that they're designing, they're kind of going alphabetical order, and they do jump around here and there and kind of find like some of the most I guess common games, the most sought after games, but they're also working on some of the obscure games that most people don't really hear of, that weren't super popular but still amazing, and they're constantly working their way up to getting this stuff just figured out and put together. So again, they got Game Boy Advance, there you go, the Wii. So you can see that again. We just want to show off the artwork that's going on there. So again, Centipede right there, it's missing. You got the N64. You can't beat that guy. I love that. And it just keeps going. Virtual Boy, that's in there. So there's all the different artwork that's been made up and designed for these guys. It's just surreal. But anyway, we just wanted to show you guys how cool this is and just share what level of amazingness we've reached with this stuff. So it's pretty cool. We're gonna keep going, and I gotta show this one. Oh, TurboGrafx 16, one of my favorites. And I'm going to go to, and again, it has ColecoVision and Intellivision. And I love the designing. You can see the coloring that they actually used, how it actually blends from one side to another. It's a whole different color. It's freaking rad. You got Vectrix in there. That was a huge console for us. We actually have a Vectrix back there. But yeah, anyway, there's a couple things. PSP, that thing loads up. I love the idea of the, again, marquee. So 3DS isn't in there, but there's a bunch of other stuff. The color, Game Boy Color. See the colors, man. It just blows my mind. It's freaking nuts. And we're like so into Game Boy. I don't know why. It's just what we grew up on. It's so amazing, I guess. And we play the hell out of that thing still to this day. I'm 40 years old and can't put down a Game Boy. Imagine that. I don't know what happened. But so I have I'm trying to get to the list. I'm almost there right now. I can feel it. There's so many freaking files in this thing. There's also Dragon's Lair and a whole every game of this thing. Just to give you an idea, that every game of this guy is has everything set up. Okay, we're going to shotgun games. That's what they call it. It's really like gun games or whatever. But what's really neat about this guy is that every system in this guy is upgraded to its like clearest and highest grade of clarity. So everything's just been up converted to like 1080p, and so that's pretty awesome. I really wanted to show you guys Duck Hunt. Now there's two different versions. There's a Play Choice 10 Duck Hunt. We really don't like playing that style game because of the fact that the Play Choice required two separate monitors and it breaks it up. So when you get to Play Choice 10 in your systems, don't play that guy. Look for the Versus any versus game, that's the one you want to go to. That was a single monitor, and again, since we have a single monitor, that's the idea. We will be coming up with a punch out and super punch out vertical screen, dual screen at a later date, and we can't wait to get that thing out there. It's going to be amazing to show you guys that. But I'm going to show you guys this this versus duck hunt here. I'll jump into this fella, and boy, that brings back some memories. Now, what's really cool about this guy is that we got a gun. That's one of the biggest aspects, coolest things that we actually came up with. We have a little Wii gun, and this thing's been completely updated and programmed. It's pretty fairly simple, but it's one of the it's a gun that's really not talked about as much as we thought we'd be hearing about. But we've used Gunco guns. We use so many different aim track guns, all these different guns. And not only do we have that power problem, of the power wire, the USB cable. It's only about 9 feet long. Once it comes out, plugs in. Sometimes you're playing, in the heat of the moment, a kid runs by, something happens, and it unplugs your gun. You're totally screwed. You got to reprogram and do all kinds of dumb stuff. With this fella, it's pretty rad. Again, Bluetooth. You break it, you drop it, you do whatever. You just buy another one, replace it, easy to go. And anyway, this guy actually works. You can see on the screen there, you see the little aimer on the screen, and it's already ready to go. All I did is just press the button, and it's ready to go right away. There's no programming, no anything. So I'm going to throw a credit in, and we're going to show gameplay with the duck hunt. I'm going to stand back here and shoot this guy. Aim and fire to select the game. There we go. And what I noticed about this aimer is that it's pretty darn steady. Look. Wow, there you go. So we got two of the ducks. That hardly ever happens. There you go. So anyway, wanted to play some game. I wanted to play a game to show you guys what was going on. I'm gonna jump out of this, and some people are gonna be like, "Dude, you should have kept playing," but we got to keep going. There's so much to cover. I'm gonna jump back out, and I'm gonna go to another favorite, Hogan's Alley. It was a big one for us. Every time we see this guy at the arcade, we had to play it. I think I was like 6, 7 years old when I first seen one, and I was like, "Holy crap, that thing's the coolest thing ever!" It has a 357 mounted on the thing. We gotta use it. It's just too cool. Just not play, So we have a little coin button up top on top of the control panel. We press a couple times, and again, same idea as the duck hunt. And what's neat again, it shows the Hogan's Alley up top, so that's freaking awesome. We're gonna show this guy, and the other nice part is to show you guys how seamless you jump from one game to another, and how the coloring is on this. Oh, I just shot a freaking dude. That sucked. But anyway, yeah, the aimer is amazing on this thing. It flows so smoothly. You can see how fast it moves on the screen itself. There's no actual lag on this guy. It's virtually like unnoticed. The little lag, it has a tiny little bit of it, but it's pretty rad. One of the issues that we've seen with some of the games is that you have like you have to go in and make a couple adjustments just to kind of straighten out your aimer every once in a while. But it's very rare that you have to do that. What I found is either when you start a game out, either it works or it doesn't. We've actually gone in and tried configuring every game, and there's a small handful of games in there that do not work with this specific gun. But again, it just takes a little tinkering. We should be able to get it on there at one time or another. But as for now, we have had so much time configuring and just to figure the machine out, figure out the system, and we found that by far the Dolphin Bar and the Wii remote have been the best connection, the best little team to team up with the arcade that we have here. So really cool system, really cool gun setup, and we have a really small, sleek little Dolphin Bar at the base of our monitor here, and it's very simple, and it works amazingly. So one of the biggest things that we wanted to show you guys was the guns, because that was like humongous for us. To be able to show you guys a wireless gun that worked really well on the machine. And obviously we wanted to show you guys this guy, the Pixelcade marquee monitor. So all in all, overall, the build on this guy was amazing. The idea of bringing it all together, being console, PC, and arcade systems, coin operated systems, we thought it was the coolest mashup ever to be able to bring it all in one. Now the other cool option that we haven't mentioned, that we some of our viewers, they would know, our normal our subscribers and viewers that are always checking out our channel. They know very well that this guy is not just a single monitor system. We also provide the customer with a 30-foot HDMI cable, and it's a high-speed cable. And with this guy, you can actually plug up. This monitor actually has, well, this machine has a HDMI plug in the back, and you can run it out wherever you want. You can even add, you can do a 50-foot wire if you want, and just connect it up to any TV, whether it's in your garage or basement, wherever your game room is, or if you have a big system, doesn't matter. You can connect it to whatever you want. It travels your audio and your sound. I'm sorry, your audio and your video travel to your wall-mounted or stand TV, no matter the size, whether it's a 40-inch, 70-inch, 80-inch, 110-inch, whatever you got, and you can even hook it up to projectors. So whatever you have on there, you can play. One thing you cannot play is the gun games on the really big monitors, being that you need to have the light bar on that guy over there on the other monitor. So I have had some guys that have their machines hooked up inside their game room, and they have the arcade off to a corner, but they want to make use of their massive screen, and they're like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna go play over there. And for guys like that want to do the HDMI out, the other thing we offer is a Xbox 360. You can also upgrade this to Xbox One remote, and you can plug this guy up. Just take this guy, we pretty much put it inside the coin door, just take it out and you just power it on. I'm going to power it on here so I can show you guys how this all works. Where I'm going to jump back out to the main menu, and you're going to see that with a controller you can actually control the entire menu up and down, left and right, and you can jump into a game. So if you're sitting down on a sofa and you're like, again, 30 plus feet away or whatever, you're still okay, as long as you're, again, within like 30 feet range. You have a 30-foot range from the console to this guy, or the arcade cabinet to this guy, and it's pretty good. It's pretty on that. I have had up to 35 to 40 feet on these guys. I don't know what it is, whether it was a low interference building or whatever, or a home, but we have seen that you can actually go pretty far with these remotes, especially if you have a fresh pair of batteries. That always helps. But yeah, this guy, you can play any game on here, any system, be it coin operated, console games, or even the PC games on this guy with your Xbox remote. So everything's configured to it, and I'm going to jump out and show you guys the other feature. I showed you guys the arcade games. I also showed you guys the console systems. That there's consoles like Atari and all that stuff in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish showing you guys the console systems the right way, and we're going to find ourselves some Nintendo here really quick. And got some Nintendo classics. We should have gone in there. But I'm going to find the actual console system. We even went through the Pinball FX stuff, so that was really neat. So this guy here, we're going to go into the Nintendo console, sorry, and we're going to find Super Mario Brothers. It's even RC Pro-Am. My goodness. So Super Mario Brothers. I'm actually going to go to the verses. That's right. To the verses. And we're almost there. Wild Gunman. Almost forgot about that game. That was a whole different deal that people absolutely loved. I forgot. I'm in the actual console. Versus is for arcade only. Sorry. So we're gonna go to Super Mario Brothers 2. Let's jump into that guy. And we're gonna show you guys using the Xbox controller that you can actually. I think I was supposed to use it the whole time, wasn't I? So when you press start, we're gonna pick Princess Peach because that's like the favorite one. Maybe you've been using that since forever. She's always been the go-to because of the fact that she can jump and float and do all that stuff right there. So you can again you can seamlessly jump between consoles, arcades, all this stuff. And again, we want to just show you guys a little bit of gameplay that you can actually play with the Xbox 360 remote on the actual arcade. And to jump out, all you literally do is just press select and start, like in a regular controller. You press the select and the back and start. I always want to say select, but it's back and start on the controller. And you go back to your Nintendo menu and you just jump and just find a whole other game. Now if you want to jump out completely to another setup, you can simply press your exit button. You do have to come to your console to go all the way back, and you go back to your console. So then again, you jump into whatever console you like. Then, let's say Nintendo 64, you jump into something like that, and with the controller, you start navigating through that guy. You find your game. It's gonna pick a random game. I picked Xena the Fighter Princess. Right on. So that's gonna load up, and we'll show you guys how that all works and how it loads up and all that stuff. But once this guy's done, we're gonna show you guys one last thing, which is crazy. The other setup is going to be the PC games. We're gonna go back out to the PC and we're gonna show you guys how the actual system works. So again, this is just an idea to show you guys that how the system works and how the Xbox controller works. So I'm gonna jump back out really quick and go do that. And here we are. We're gonna be doing. Oh, you have the trackball, right? So what's neat about the trackball is that it allows you to do several things. So if you want to jump out of a game, you can actually use the trackball and the mouse to jump out of several games. Sometimes it asks you that. There's some PC games on this system itself. I'm gonna jump back out, and I'm gonna show you guys the other system. So there's actually a couple PC games on here itself. So there's a bunch of racing games and stuff like that. I already loaded on these guys, but you see the PC gaming. So there's a bunch of stuff in there. You got some Crazy Taxi, some Golden Eyes in there, House of the Dead. You got a bunch of good games in there, and there's about maybe 50 to 100 games of PC games, and that's awesome. So that's your PC games within the 55,001 system, running through Hyperspin, and they're playable. When you jump into them, you can actually play them with your trackball and your left click button. So you can do that, and you have all your buttons on this guy that are just doing their own thing. So really cool. You can do a lot of things with this fella. I'm gonna jump back out of here. And again, there's so much stuff. There's so many details. I know I'm forgetting stuff, and we're gonna have to cover that stuff at a later date or in the next video here coming up. I wanted to show you guys how to jump out of this guy. So you also go back to, there's an exit menu. So you just press exit on the side, on the little side button there. And we're gonna press enter, okay. And what that does is it brings you out to your main desktop feature. So on this guy, it's kind of hard to see. Again, we're gonna have to make another video in a bit. This guy shows other games, like more newer games. Again, like we were talking about, some people want to have Fortnite and all these other games set up on their machines. And this guy, we actually hooked up Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Halo the Master Chief Collection, free Simpsons game that we downloaded offline, and a Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom. Now these are all games that have been purchased off of Steam, and we've had to download them and configure them in all of this little package here. So if you order a machine like this guy, it'll have your Steam account, all your stuff on there, so you can buy everything you want and hook up your own system and have your own games. So that's really neat. You can play offline or online. You can do whatever you want with it. We kind of, again, change the game, change the rules up. Everything's completely different now. So if you're a gamer, or I'm sorry, if you buy the machine, right, you figure it out. There's a lot of guys that have called us up, and they're like, and I've thought about this. They call us up and ask us for arcade games, but they're like, well, what happens when the kids, don't want to play anymore? They get older, and they're like, hey, I don't want to play any of these older school games anymore because it's pretty much the father the mother or father that are buying these machines for themselves and or grandparents too. It's pretty nuts. They buy them for their retirement, so it's pretty awesome. I'd love to be that guy. But these guys buy these machines and they're like, dude, could I ever like update these things? Well, now we can. So we can actually update them with the newest games. So you could pretty much download any game you could possibly imagine on this guy. Any game that's available for PC is totally downloadable for this guy. You just got to go into, like, if you want to do any of the Modern Warfare stuff or some Battlefield, or you want to do whatever, fucking Fortnite, you want to get into Control, you want to buy whatever games you want to do, whatever platform it's on. So not platform, the PC stuff, obviously, but whatever website it's on, whether it's Steam or I'm sorry, game category it's on. You want to be able to you could be able to buy anything and add anything to this guy. It has a 4 terabyte hard drive in there to be able to handle all the games you could possibly want, and it has in total about 12 terabytes on this system of information. So it's pretty freaking rad. And this thing again, it has a hell of a motherboard. It's running an i7 chip, and I'm sorry, it has an IC CPU, i7 CPU. It has a Asus motherboard, and it also has a 1080 GTX NVIDIA card, TI, 1080 Ti GTX card. So it's got about 16 gigs of RAM, so it can handle pretty much anything you can imagine and throw at it. We have built some AMD. The last one was a Ryzen 3600X with it was a 32 gigabytes of RAM, and we used a 2060 or a 2080 NVIDIA card on it. So that was a bigger deal. It was a bigger, heavier duty gaming computer. So depending on how deep you want to go, and again, it's only money, like they say, to be able to buy the parts, we kind of build it together. You just let us know what you guys want to do, and those are the options. I mean, we just call us up and we personalize these machines to you. So another thing we want to show you guys is there's so much going on. The Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom. This guy is the Capcom 3. And I'm gonna have to load this thing up and sign myself in, because apparently the machine is offline. So I'm gonna have it start in offline mode. So there's that. You're gonna have Marvel vs. Capcom 3 show up here. And what's neat about this guy is that when you have PC games, right? PC games, one of the main things that people look for or want is to be able to play a PC game, but they're like, how do I play PC on an arcade? Or arcade on a PC, vice versa. Right? They always have a problem with that. You either got to use a keyboard. If you're not a keyboard guy, you're like, dude, I want to have joysticks, whatever. So this thing actually has the ability to play and to control all of the game with your joysticks. So you have your joysticks here, and you have your trackball and mouse. So again, you just press the left click button that says press any button. You jump in, and it'll show you some of the games. Now I think one of the main things we're going to end up doing is that we're going to show these games, or what we've been talking about, little breakups of segments in a more in-depth way, so we can show you guys how every system works more in depth. So that way if you have any questions, boom, you have it right there. You have your answer. And again, if you have any other questions,